I was halfway through the glass door when the guard's arm blocked me. "Unauthorized personnel, not allowed," he said, eyes steady, voice rehearsed. I told him my name, my wife's name, the title she carried like a crown, CEO. He studied me with a strange sort of pity, then smiled. "Sir, I see the husband every day. There he is, coming out right now." The world slowed. A man stepped out of her private elevator, confident, familiar with the place in a way I'd never been allowed to be. He adjusted his tie, checked his phone, and walked toward the exit as if he belonged to her life more than I did. The guard's words echoed. "I see the husband every day." I didn't speak, didn't move, didn't breathe. But something deep inside me shifted, quietly, dangerously, like a lock turning on its own. There was no confrontation, no scene, just a cold, precise decision settling into my bones. I stepped back, watched the elevator door close behind the man, and felt the first crack of a truth I already feared. I nodded at the guard, as if I understood more than he did. "I'll be back," I said, but not as the man she thought I was. No, something colder had woken up. At home, the silence felt staged. Nothing out of place, nothing suspicious, if you believed in surfaces. She texted me an hour later. "Long day. Going to be late." A simple message, a harmless one. Except I had seen what late looked like walking out of her elevator. I replayed the guard's expression, how gently he delivered the knife. "Sir, I see the husband every day." The husband, not a husband. My mind wandered through the last few months. The late meetings, the sudden distance, the way she flinched when I touched her shoulder like she'd forgotten my skin. I tried to deny it, tried to swallow the thought that maybe I'd been replaced long before the guard accidentally confirmed it. But denial is a fragile thing. It shatters with the smallest pressure. When she finally came home, she kissed my cheek with practiced warmth. Too smooth, too controlled. Her eyes didn't meet mine. Something inside me took note, filed it away like evidence. I didn't ask questions. She didn't volunteer answers. We played our roles, perfectly, painfully. And beneath it all, the truth stretched out like a shadow, long, silent, patient. The next morning I started collecting pieces. Not aggressively, not obsessively, methodically. Phone records, work schedules, parking logs I shouldn't have access to, but did because desperation makes you inventive. I checked her photos, angles too careful, backgrounds too clean. Every image felt curated to hide something just outside the frame. I requested visitor logs from her building under the guise of a security audit. His name appeared too often, too conveniently. I didn't confront her, didn't even let my tone change. We ate dinner, shared a bed, played the quiet, dying game of a marriage pretending to breathe. But inside my mind, every detail rearranged itself into a pattern I couldn't unsee. Late nights, deleted messages, a guard who thought he recognized me, but recognized someone else. I didn't want the truth, but I needed it. Needed it like oxygen in a drowning room. So I went further. A small camera near her office entrance, a device mirrored to my phone. Nothing dramatic, just observation. And 2 days later, I saw him again, walking beside her, smiling at something she said, her hand brushing his arm in a way she never touched me anymore. I stared at the screen, pulse steady, face empty. The storm was inside, not outside. The final confirmation arrived in a single image, her entering a hotel with him, her fingers laced with his. No ambiguity, no room for hope. When she came home that night, I was waiting at the table. I slid my phone across the surface without a word. She froze. The color drained from her face. Her mouth trembled, but no sound came out. I watched her break in slow motion. "Say something," she whispered. I didn't. Silence was sharper. Her hands shook as she reached for me, but I pulled back with surgical precision. No anger, no raised voice, just distance. The truth didn't need explanation. She understood it all at once. And that hurt her more than any accusation could. "I'm not here to argue," I said softly. "I'm here to return what's not mine anymore." Her eyes widened. Fear. Real fear. I placed my wedding ring on the table, not in rage, but with the finality of a signature on a death certificate. She tried to speak, but I cut her off with a single, quiet sentence. "He calls himself your husband. Let him keep the title." The words hit harder than any shouting could. She collapsed into the chair, sobbing, reaching for a version of me she'd already lost. I walked away before she could touch me. Outside, the night felt strangely clean, the air sharper, my mind still. I didn't feel triumph, didn't feel rage, just clarity, the kind that comes when a lie finally dies. She had chosen her replacement long before I discovered him. All I did was step out of the role she'd rewritten. As I walked to my car, I looked back once, only once. And in that small backward glance, I realized something simple, brutal, and freeing. I wasn't leaving her. I was leaving the version of myself she thought would never wake up. I closed the door behind me, and for the first time in months, I breathed.